Hello, my name is Herman Yudi. I'm Senior Technical Analyst in BMC Cloud Lifecycle Management product. Today I'm going to cover a usage on how to configure Azure Resource Manager with CLM for Azure provisioning. Starting from CLM 4604 release, we have added a new support for Azure Resource Manager template base using JSON file. In the CLM 4605 release, we have expanded our support for Azure Resource Manager without templates, or some might call it Azure RM Compute or Instance Base. In this presentation, I will discuss specifically how to use Azure RM Compute or Instance Base using CLM. In this slide, you can see a high-level step to onboard this Azure RM provider and start using this as a custom provider in CLM. First, you need to register this Azure RM as a custom provider in the CLM admin console. Once the registration is completed successfully, you need to add Azure user account to this custom provider and provide all of the details information like subscription ID, tenant ID, client ID, and etc. Once this information is completed, you need to onboard your virtual network in Azure Management Portal to CLM Administration Console under Network Container Resource. And then you can map this resource to your tenant. Once the Azure RM configuration is done, then you can start creating a service blueprint and service offering for this provider. Let me show you in the demo environment. In here, I'm logged in as a Cloud Tenant Admin user called Bruce. I will go to the workspace, providers, and custom page. This is the page where you need to register your Azure RM provider. As you can see here, I already have an Azure RM register as a custom provider. Let me show you the details on this provider. You can see that there are lists of parameters that need to be filled in for this provider. If you are using a proxy to connect to the external Microsoft Azure portal site, then you need to provide the detail on your proxy information. You can specify which assisting resource group in Azure portal that hosts your custom VM image, if any. Otherwise, you need to specify the list of publishers that already have a public VM image that can be used in Azure. To enter any public VM image publisher that you want to include, you need to use the format publisher and offer SKU version. In my example, I am using a 3 publisher, which is Canonical, Microsoft, and Red Hat. So to enter multiple publisher, you need to use a separated by comma. Once the provider has been added, you need to click on the Manage User Account to map your Azure user. And here you can see that you need to provide the subscription ID, tenant ID, client secret, and this information you can follow our CLM documentation on this detail to get this information. Once the user is configured, then you can go to Resource Management and then Network Container to onboard your Azure Virtual Network into CLM. Click on the Onboard Logical Data Center. Select the provider as a custom resource provider and proxy provider can fill in with Azure RM. And this is the user account that you just mapped to your Azure provider. Once you're done, then you need to click on the search button to select for any available logical data center, which is your virtual network in Azure portal, or you can type the name that you are aware of. Since I already onboarded my virtual network from an earlier activity, I will go ahead and cancel this. As you can see here that I have a virtual network, a central US network as my logical data center. And you can see the detail here that I already have a tag as well as a tenant being specified on this virtual network. To map these resources to your tenant, you can click on the Manage Tenant Mapping. And I already have the resource mapped to my tenant. So in your case, if you have a tenant that you need to map, then you just have to add the name of your tenant and then just go ahead and click Save. After you've done the configuration of Azure Provider, you can start creating a service blueprint. So I'm going to go to Workspace, Service Designer, and I already have a pre-created service blueprint from my earlier activity. So the rest of the configuration for the step to create a service blueprint is exactly the same as how you do it for the other VMware provisioning. The only difference is in your resource set for the computed resource, you need to select the cloud platform as Azure RM. And then you can select the list of a machine images from the list of a publisher that you have configured during the Azure registration. In my example, I configure as Canonical, Microsoft, and Red Hat. So you can select in either one of those options. And the rest are just pretty standard. So I will go ahead and check in on this service blueprint. So once you are done with service blueprint, you can go to service catalog to create the request definition. So similarly in the service catalog, the step to create this request definition is pretty standard. And I've created the request definition from the earlier activity. You just have to specify all of the parameter. So I'll go ahead and close it. This will complete our session on how to configure and onboard your Azure provider, as well as creating a service blueprint and offering for your Azure provisioning. I hope this information will be useful for your use case. Thank you and for listening.